Now 2 weeks away from state championships being won in high school football, and the brackets were whittled down to the Final Four this weekend right here, right now on Game Night Live. All right, thanks for joining us for this portion of the show. It's all high school football from here on out, and we'll start with the quarterfinals in Class 6A. American Fork hoping to keep its underdog run rolling against fifth-seeded Lehigh. In the second quarter, Lehigh getting into the end zone. Jet New dumps it down to Devon Eka. 36 yards for the touchdown, 7-0. Lehigh's defense was pretty great, too. The interception from Ozzie Williams. Lehigh advancing with a 28-7 win. The number one team in Class 6A, Corner Canyon, hosting Weber. Chargers out in front early. Kai Meza with the diving catch to put Corner Canyon up 21-0. In the fourth quarter, Bronson Evans airs it out for Meza. He's at the other end for the 56-yard touchdown. Corner Canyon, they're headed back to Rice Eccles with the 59-34 win. Third-seeded Lone Peak was hosting Fremont. Early in the game here, it's Jaden Mayberry turning on the Jets down the far sideline, returning that kick all the way back for the touchdown. Things looking good. Then Kepaniu Metolu is going to go over the middle to Ike Staley. He's able to shed 2 tackles to get into the end zone, fighting his way in for 6. Lone Peak rolls 56-36. Skyridge looking for another Final Four berth. The Davis Darts standing in their way. End of the first half, Traden Bessinger to Bodie Sparrow. The Darts lead the Falcons by 10 at the half. Now Skyridge turns on the run game in this second half. 3 third-quarter touchdowns from Zayden Salu puts Skyridge in the lead, and they are headed back to the semifinals for the 5th straight year. In Class 5A, no surprises to this point in the tournament. The top 8 seeded teams all playing tonight in the quarterfinals, or this weekend, I should say. We had an exciting ending in the 5A quarterfinals Friday night between Brighton and Olympus. In the third quarter, Olympus quarterback Max Rice connects with Caden Lloyd. That's a 44-yard score. The Titans lead 14-0. Then in the fourth quarter, Brighton's offense got rolling behind Bo LaFleur. 2-yard touchdown with 6 minutes left. Then with just over 3 to go, LaFleur powers his way in to tie the game. The Bengals would get a stop, and they get into range for Thomas Sorensen. A 33-yarder for the win. Splits the uprights. 14 unanswered points in the fourth, and the Bengals advance to the semifinals. The 5-4 matchup in Class 5A, Orem visiting Timpview. First quarter here, Timpview leading, but Orem has a special talent with Faleti Iongi. An 80-yard touchdown run. Orem would get the 2-point conversion for the early 8-7 lead, but it was all Timpview after that. They come right back down with this big play. Soakai Aston to Aisa Naleai, a 58-yard touchdown to take the 14-8 lead. Timpview would pull away easily, advancing to the semis, 42-8. The top-seeded team in 5A is Roy. They were hosting number 8 Viewmont. 4 minutes into the game, we get a Game Night 5 nominee. How about Zay Morris, keeping the concentration on this ball to pull it in, 53 yards for the early lead. Later in the game, Drew Gardner to Morris again, another touchdown. And Roy gets one step closer with that 43-29 win. Maple Mountain was visiting second-seeded Bountiful. First quarter, Bountiful's Siaki Fekitoa powers his way in from 8 yards out. The game is tied at 7. Then in the second quarter, Maple Mountain's driving Zach Jensen to Sawyer Leifson for the score. But Bountiful would score with just under 2 minutes to play to get the win. Fekitoa had 5 total touchdowns. It was 42-35 Bountiful. Skyview came limping into the 4A state tournament a bit, losing 2 of its final 3 games of the regular season. They were given the 7th seed, but the playoffs, that's when it matters the most, right? And on Friday night, it really showed for Skyview, putting second-seeded Provo on upset alert. Second quarter, Bobcats leading 10-7. Jack Clark finds Jace Carlson. He breaks free for the 27-yard touchdown, 17-7 Skyview. Then right before the half, Provo's Garrick Orchard connects with Bryant Larson for the 61-yard touchdown to make things 20-14 going into halftime. Skyview gets a strip sack that sets up a 3-yard touchdown run by Xander Stokes, and Skyview upsets number 2 Provo 26-20. Our Game Night Live game of the week was between Park City and Spanish Fork in the second quarter. Park City down 10-7, but Elijah Warner gives them the lead right back. Returns the kick, takes it at his own 5, does the other 95 himself for the 14-10 lead. Tied at 17 in the third quarter, Park City with another big play. Sebastian Bodley deep to Reese Smith. right in stride, 89-yard score. So Spanish Fork was trailing by 7 with 7 minutes to play. Brock Jacobson takes the direct snap right up the gut. 61 yards. That's going to tie the game at 24. Then with 3.5 minutes to play, Caden Vest, 76 yards, and this would prove to be the game-winning touchdown. Spanish Fork advances 30-24. Undefeated Ridgeline taking on Stansbury. Riverhawks up 7-0 when Nate Dolly goes with the quarterback keeper, makes it a 14-0 lead. Then in the second quarter, Ridgeline's Graham Livingston's going to get the pick and run it back 61 yards for the 6. Riverhawks are now 13-0. They move on to the semifinals. A tight one between Green Canyon and Crimson Cliffs. Mustangs down 3-0 right before the half. Ryder Sherratt to Boston Barrow. Barrow's going to fight his way all the way in to give the Mustangs the 7-3 lead. In the second half, McCord Christiansen, one of his 3 rushing touchdowns. And Crimson Cliffs is moving on. They'll face Skyview in the semifinals. Number 4 Manti was facing top-seeded Morgan at Zions Bank Stadium in the 3A semifinals. Scoreless into the second quarter. That's when both teams caught fire. Manti with the double pass. Taulapapa with the catch for the 53-yard touchdown. But Morgan finishes strong. Beck Sheffield scores for the 28-21 halftime lead. Morgan rolls into the championship game with the 42-28 win. That game happening next weekend. In the 8-player semifinals, Altamont facing Rich at Zions Bank Stadium. In the first quarter, Carter Hoffman on the QB draw right up the middle. 45 yards for the 7-0 Rich lead. And in the second quarter, Hoffman to Jet Holmes. There's a 24-yard touchdown. Rich easily advancing to the title game, 53-7. All right, 90 seconds of pure happiness. It's coming up next with the Game Night Live highlight reel. Stick around.
Falcons, this is Game Night Live.
Absolutely love that kind of energy this time of year from you high school students. Thanks a lot. All right, another big step was taken this weekend towards those state championship winning moments. All of the drama, the emotion, the thrill of victory, it's all right here on the Game Night Live highlight reel.
And that is juggled and caught!
Standing in front of the enemy line, you gotta be a soldier. Your soul burns like a wildfire. This fight is not yet over. You're adrenalized, blood is pumping, on the verge to be a hero. This is all or nothing. Are you ready for this?
Hey, thanks for joining us. Tune in tomorrow night for KSL Sports Live at 10:45. All of our locals in the NFL Plus full coverage of the BYU-Utah football game, post-game reactions, and all. And then Thursday, check out all of the playoff games live on the KSL Sports app. We'll see you tomorrow night.